I'm here at a computer expo in Taiwan's capital to see how AI could revolutionize industries around the world.
Computex in Taipei features a range of tech leaders, but their speeches all revolve on one theme. Activists from the US and Vietnam battle one of the world's biggest plastic companies in Taiwan. Plus, water or wildlife. A new artificial lake may threaten local animals. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Ian Kavat. Asia's largest computer expo, Computex, kicked off in Taipei on Tuesday. It showcases many of the world's most advanced emerging technologies. And this year, there's been a particular focus on artificial intelligence and graphic processing units. Our reporter Jaime Ocon was there to find out more.
More than 1,000 different companies from 26 countries are here in Taipei for the start of Computex. It's Asia's largest computer expo, and people here are eager to see what's the latest tech. Taiwan is known around the world for its advanced semiconductor industry, but several emerging technologies are adding to the country's position as a global tech hub. Over the next 4 days, some of the most high-tech pieces of software, hardware, gadgets, and gizmos will be on display right here in Taiwan's capital.
President of Taiwan, to join us today at Computex 2023.
Speaking at the expo's opening ceremony, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen highlighted artificial intelligence as one of the ways that the country can develop its economic innovation.
台湾的高科技产业在全球供应链上扮演着很重要的角色，同时也跟着时代的趋势不断的精进发展。就像最近的辉达，也就是 NVIDIA 的黄仁勋创办人不断的强调，未来10年的产业发展，每一步都有 AI 的元素。这是从基础开始创新、革新的时代。
And while Taiwan dominates in semiconductor production, a different kind of memory chip is starting to draw a lot of attention. One of the newest pieces of tech unveiled here at Computex are next-generation graphic processing units, or GPUs. These are computer chips that help process images, graphics, and other data using rapid mathematics. GPUs were invented by NVIDIA, and their advanced processing ability is helping to power some of the latest developments in AI. The company's CEO, Jensen Huang, says this accelerated computing power is set to revolutionize industries around the world.
The rate of progress, because it's so easy to use, is the reason why it's growing so fast. This is going to touch literally every single industry. And at the core, just as with every single computing era, it needs a new computing approach. In this particular era, the computing approach is accelerated computing, and it has been completely reinvented from the ground up.
Industries like gaming are already seeing the effects of AI, as faster processing power provides users with an even more immersive experience. Exhibitors here are sure that in the near future, AI will transform the way that video games and players interact.
These kind of concept in movies as well, right? And the way games are changing, the way things are changing so fastly, I'm pretty sure down the road, maybe in another 5 years or something, we'll have something related to AI, for sure.
Others say that AI found in applications like ChatGPT, which help users complete online tasks and have human-like conversations, will also be just as important.
I think it's going to play a huge role for everyone, not just gaming, not just industry. I think AI is really, one of those things that is very buzzy these days, but you will see it in real life very, very soon.
But although these machines try as much as possible to mimic human functions, participants here say that there are human elements that they can never replace.
I think one thing that ChatGPT or AI cannot provide you is empathy. So I think empathy is going to be one of those things in the future that is, people really start appreciating that value, because you can't write code for empathy.
With thousands of visitors looking to check out the tech being showcased at Computex, many are also hoping to learn more about how the advances in AI and GPUs are quickly becoming a part and changing our everyday lives. Howard Zhang and Jaime Ocon for TaiwanPlus.
With Computex underway in Taipei, tech leaders from all over the world have converged on Taiwan to deliver keynote speeches about groundbreaking new technology. And as Leslie Liao reports, all of the speakers so far are banking on one emerging sector.
For 4 days, Computex Taipei 2023 will be showcasing the latest and most advanced tech the computing sector has to offer. It's the largest show of its kind in Asia. And with that much computing power concentrated in one spot, it's no wonder the event has attracted some of the most innovative minds in the industry. This year's Computex features daily keynote speeches from heavy hitters like Jensen Huang, the CEO of American software and chip design firm NVIDIA. And so far, these tech titans seem to be betting big on one emerging sector.
Artificial intelligence, AI, and artificial intelligence.
Computex 2023's opening ceremony featured a keynote speech from American tech firm Qualcomm. Senior Vice Presidents Alex Katuzian and Kedar Kondap delivered the address, stressing just how much of a game changer they think AI is.
We're only beginning to imagine the impact this technology will have on experiences.
It absolutely goes without saying that AI is absolutely booming. It is astonishing that AI is changing our everyday lives.
Computex's keynotes are a chance for tech companies to showcase new product innovations. But it's also a chance for consumers to observe overall industry trends and to see which direction the wind is blowing. And this year, without question, AI is brewing up a storm in the tech sector. Leon Lian and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk is visiting Beijing. It marks his first visit to the country in 3 years. Musk is scheduled to visit Tesla's Shanghai plant and meet senior Chinese officials. On Tuesday, he met with China's Foreign Minister Qin Gang. Reuters previously reported that Musk was planning to meet with Chinese Premier Li Qiang in China as early as April. China is Tesla's second largest market after the US. Musk's trip comes amid intensified competition with rival Chinese automakers. Taiwan has issued its first sea warning of the year as Typhoon Mawa gets closer. The Central Weather Bureau sent out a warning for areas around southeastern Taiwan on Monday evening. Typhoon Mawa has been moving toward the country from the southeast at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Meteorologists expect Mawa to change course and move northeast toward Japan, missing Taiwan's mainland. But areas in the north and east have been warned to expect torrential rain. Search teams have recovered the body of a missing 13-year-old off Taiwan's east coast. The girl was swept out to sea in Elon County on Sunday as Typhoon Mawa approached Taiwan. Waves as high as 5 meters complicated the search for the schoolgirl. The girl's family members have identified her body. She is the second person to have drowned off the east coast of Taiwan since the typhoon's approach. A 13-year-old boy in Hualien County was confirmed dead on Sunday after also being swept out to sea. Infectious disease specialists at Taiwan's hospitals are being frustrated by increasingly heavy workloads, and some are even choosing to leave their jobs. That's as a fourth wave of COVID-19 sees case numbers and paperwork pile up. John Van Trieste reports.
COVID-19 restrictions may have lifted, but a fourth wave of infections is well underway. As with previous waves, the current surge is taking its toll on medical staff. But as Taiwan prepares for a fresh uptick in COVID numbers, hospitals are seeing a concerning new trend. A growing number of infection control nurses are looking for different jobs. One hospital in central Taiwan has seen nearly half of its 12 infection specialists leave their positions.
有些医院可能感控管是只有1、2位，那工作量都非常的大，那可能上班可能都会到晚上9点、10点这样子哦。
But these nurses are used to long hours and stressful work conditions. The big difference now is the paperwork. Taiwan has retired its COVID task force, and with it, the country's electronic reporting system. Now it's back to paper documents. For each quarantine patient, the nurses have 24 hours to get and send a series of paper forms. If they miss the deadline, the hospital gets fined. Unlike in earlier waves, only patients with severe complications now go into quarantine. Some experts say this system poses a new series of risks.
某些纸本，假如是进到隔离病室里面，给确诊病人或他的家属签署，再回出来的话，那这个纸其实可能是有潜在污染的风险。
Taiwan Centers for Disease Control says it would need funding to bring back the electronic system, but it says it's taking steps to ease the paperwork crunch.
放宽通报时效跟开单时效由24小时放宽为72小时这个作业，预计大概在星期四6月1号应该就可以来公布实施。
Experts will also discuss whether to scrap reporting requirements altogether, also to be reviewed in June. But it's unclear whether these moves will be enough to stem the exodus of nurses from Taiwan's hospitals. James Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is trying to encourage more skilled foreign workers to settle down in the country. The legislature has amended laws to allow the spouses and children of so-called high-level professionals easier access to permanent residence in Taiwan. They will now all be able to apply for permanent residence at the same time. Previously, spouses and children needed to wait 3 years from when the main applicant was granted permanent residence. But the changes won't apply to the vast majority of Taiwan's foreign population, including migrant workers and white-collar workers who don't meet the standard for so-called high-level professionals. Formosa Plastics Group is one of the world's biggest plastic manufacturers, but activists have long accused the Taiwanese company and its operations of human and environmental abuses. Now, those activists have come to Taipei to bring the fight to the plastic giant's doorstep. Sally Jensen was there.
Formosa! Formosa! Shame of Taiwan! Shame of Taiwan!
An international group of activists are in Taiwan on the doorstep of one of the world's biggest plastics companies to call out its alleged abuses. The Formosa group is accused of environmental racism and disregarding human rights in these activists' countries.
And I think it's very important to look the people in the eye who are doing the damage to our bays and to our air and to our communities down there.
But we are fighters, and we're not going to stop. And Formosa will not come to Louisiana and St. James.
The Formosa group has plants in the US which have been dumping waste from plastics production into the surrounding environment. It harms the health of people and wildlife living near plastics factories. That this toxic waste has disproportionately been dumped on black and low-income communities has made Formosa synonymous with environmental racism.
I mean, you have such a history of environmental racism in the placement of facilities within the state of Louisiana into communities of color and communities of lower income that it's almost impossible for one not to conclude that there's something wrong there.
In 2019, a US court awarded $50 million in penalties to Texas residents affected by Formosa's pollution. There was a similar legal battle in Vietnam, where waste from Formosa Plastics is devastating marine life and damaging the livelihood of fishing communities. Activists involved in all these cases are now here in Taipei.
We don't want to see that kind of human rights violation. So we're here all together. We want that to be stopped. We want Formosa to stop.
In its home country, Taiwan, Formosa is already considered a bad actor because of its poor environmental record, and the government has refused it operating permits for certain projects. But the company remains a core part of Taiwan's economy, netting almost $3 billion in profits last year.
It's not good for Taiwan's image. I mean, and Taiwan is also supposed to deliver environmental justice and human rights. And I think for most of it does very well. But some companies don't walk the walk.
Formosa's global penalties now total over $500 million. TaiwanPlus reached out to Formosa Plastics for comment, but they did not respond before the time of airing this report.
Stop the pollution! Formosa, stop the pollution! 台塑集团，赔偿受害者。
But for these activists who have traveled from Texas, Louisiana, and Vietnam, the work is far from over. They're now uniting their efforts, seeking justice from Formosa Plastics in Taiwan's courts, bringing the battle to the home of the giant that has been found guilty of destroying so many lives abroad. Patrick Chen and Sally Ensign for TaiwanPlus.
As the country grapples with drought, the government is working on projects to improve the water situation. One of those is the creation of an artificial lake in central Taiwan. But conservationists say this project could threaten local wildlife. Eric Gao reports.
This massive hole in the ground will soon become Taiwan's first artificial lake. When complete, the Niaozui Tan Artificial Lake in central Nantou County will be fed from the nearby Wu River and provide enough water for 1 million people a day.
如此将可以减抽地下水，延缓地层下陷的趋势。
The lake is part of government efforts to reduce the impact of a severe drought which has hit the country. But local conservationists say the project may threaten local endangered species. One of those is the leopard cat, Taiwan's last surviving native cat species. Only a few hundred of them still exist in the wild. Conservationists say the dirt being removed for the lake will be dumped into the animals' habitats.
对于石虎来说，这些还是目前在河床地里面可以利用的栖地。那当你堆土了之后，你就是直接把适合栖地给填掉了。
It's not just leopard cats that are considered at risk. Conservationists say an endemic fish species could also be impacted.
因为巴氏银居不能在很急很深的主流生存，它要在那个变状流到旁边比较小、比较缓的、比较浅的水流里面。
For the most part, the government has played down these concerns. It says the project has been reviewed and approved by experts and does not pose any serious risks to the local wildlife. But many conservationists remain unconvinced and will be closely watching to see what effects it has on the endangered animals. Klein Wong and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up, menstruation is a taboo in Taiwan's temples, but one organization is trying to change that. More after the break.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app and follow us on social media.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Lawmakers from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party have proposed new punishments for non-military reservists who skip their yearly substitute service. It's part of a proposal to extend the annual substitute service training period from 1 day per year to 4 to 5 days. DPP lawmakers say this extension can help prepare Taiwan's non-military conscripts for conflict with China as cross-strait tensions escalate. They say those who avoid their duties should be jailed for up to 1 year and fined up to $3,000 US.
是因为没有法则，所以大家对于这个替代役备役时候的演训，并不是那么的认真的投入，甚至轻忽它。
China has sent 3 of its astronauts into space with aims of making a crewed moon landing by 2030. The Shenzhou 16 spacecraft lifted off from the Gobi Desert in northern China on Tuesday morning. One of its 3 crew members is a civilian scientist. This is the first time the country has sent a civilian into space. All previous space crews have been from the military. They are expected to spend 5 months on board China's Tiangong space station doing maintenance and experiments. The Tiangong was completed in November, but China has already announced plans to continue expanding it. South Korea says it will closely monitor a North Korean military satellite launch that's due to take place early next month. On Tuesday, North Korea said it would launch its first military reconnaissance satellite in June. State media says it will be used to monitor US military activities. South Korea and the US held their largest ever live-fire drills last week, simulating responses to a full-scale attack from North Korea. Japan has put its ballistic missile defenses on alert in response to the planned launch. Dozens of NATO peacekeepers have been injured in the Eastern European nation of Kosovo after clashes broke out with protesters upset at new mayors taking office. Louise Watt reports.
Protests turned violent outside a town hall in northern Kosovo as ethnic Serbs took their anger out on NATO-led peacekeepers. The protesters are upset that ethnic Albanian mayors have taken office. Ethnic tensions here have run high for decades, and international peacekeepers have been in the country since the late 90s. NATO says dozens of Italian and Hungarian peacekeepers were attacked and suffered fractures and burns. They were defending 3 town halls where the newly elected mayors needed police assistance to take up their posts. It's a majority ethnic Serb area, and Serbs had boycotted the April elections because they say their demands for more autonomy haven't been met.
Do not allow those fake mayors to enter in here because they won 50 votes. Even Albanians were not voting for it.
While northern Kosovo is a majority ethnic Serb area, Kosovo as a whole is mostly ethnically Albanian. Kosovo won independence from Serbia in 2008, but Serbia still considers Kosovo part of its territory. The two have been at loggerheads for decades. Serbia blames Kosovo for provoking tensions, saying more than 50 peaceful protesters were injured in the clashes. And it accused the peacekeepers of using flash grenades. Serbia has put its own soldiers on high alert.
Kosovo i Metohija, predsjednik Republike po Ustavu vrhovni komandant Vojske Srbije izdao naredbu da se stepen borbene gotovosti Vojske Srbije podigne na najviše nivo.
The United States and dozens of other countries recognize Kosovo's independence. But some countries, including China and Russia, have sided with Serbia. Russia's foreign minister said Serbs were fighting for their rights in northern Kosovo and suggested more trouble could lie ahead.
Большой взрыв в центре Европы.
The United States and European Union are now working to turn down the heat in northern Kosovo, fearing more instability in a region still ablaze with Russia's war in Ukraine. Eason Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
At least one person has died in the third Russian attack on the Ukrainian capital Kyiv within 24 hours. The nighttime attack was carried out using drones that left several buildings ablaze. Ukraine says it intercepted nearly 30 more drones. Meanwhile, reports from Moscow say the Russian capital also came under a drone attack from an unknown source. Russian officials accuse Ukraine of launching the attack, but say it only caused minor damage. A beluga whale dubbed the spy whale has reappeared off the coast of Sweden. The whale was first seen in the far north of Norway in 2019, wearing a harness marked Equipment St. Petersburg. This prompted speculation that the Russian Navy had trained it to somehow spy for Russia. Moscow has never issued an official response to the idea. Marine biologists say the whale appears to be in good health and may be looking for others of its kind. Religious temples are beginning to offer menstrual products to break the stigma surrounding periods. According to a local government survey, 60% believe menstruating people should be banned from worshipping at temples, Bing Wang reports.
All across Taiwan, religious temples like this one are open all day for people to pray. But some believe those who are on their periods should be banned from praying inside the temple. According to a government survey conducted in Taoyuan, a city of less than 500,000 people, 60% of respondents believe those menstruating should be banned from temple worship, a small sample that reflects a widespread taboo. But Vivi Lin and her nonprofit With Red is trying to change the stigma.
希望能够跟庙宇一起来合作，来共同倡议说，月经来当然可以来拜拜，大家都不用担心，一起让台湾成为一个月经平权的国家。
Partnering with Taoyuan's Department of Social Welfare, with Red got 6 popular temples to join the cause.
市府更创全国之先，我们串联了庙宇，共同推动月经平权，于庙宇的女厕服务台设置卫生棉贴心盒。
Further breaking the taboo, these 6 temples will offer tampons, pads, and other period products. Taoyuan is just the first city in Taiwan to have temples breaking the menstrual taboo. From here, with Red and the Department of Social Welfare are taking their campaign across the country, working with temples in other cities to overcome societal stigmas around periods. Zhang Tzu and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Renowned Taiwanese opera performer Yang Li Hua is getting her own documentary. 79-year-old Yang is regarded as a national treasure. She is one of the most active performers in Taiwanese opera, dramas and radio plays, and is best known for portraying male roles. The documentary is a co-production of local media and will reveal never-before-seen footage.
纪录片当然要制作的这一部呢，不是那么简单。策划要推出一定有目共睹，做的一定要留的，值得留，值得你们来看的这一部电影。
Thank you for watching Taiwan Plus News. Finally today, we leave you with images from Berlin's annual Carnival of Cultures, celebrating the city's diversity. It's back after a 3-year suspension due to COVID-19. I'm Ika Vat. Take care and see you next time.